The greatest wealth building mistake of your 20s is not the money you don't save, but the financial lessons you didn't learn. For the past 17 years, I've learned a lot about money, a lot. And this journey started, from my university days when I was thrown into the real world, having to learn how to fend for myself outside the comfort of my family. I believe many of us went through this at some point in our lives. Just imagine that I had to learn how to manage the allowances that was given to me. I knew that there was nothing for me if I did not do that. And funny enough, I found myself very good at it. So, it's something to consider here. But after leaving university now, up until this point, I've joined courses where I've been taught how to invest. I've read so many books now on how to multiply my money, shared my financial journey online, and now I even work in the banking sector where I'm learning on a daily on different things concerning money. But to be honest, it has not been completely smooth because I've gone through my fair share of trials and errors with money. So in this video, I want to share with you 7 common money advice for anyone in their 20s and early 30s. These tips are all the things I've learned along my journey and things I wish someone had told me early on in my financial journey. Hi guys, my name is Fizz, and on this channel I share with you everything I'm learning on my journey to $1 million before I turn 40. So if you're interested in that, you want to stick around for more tips on personal finance. No gatekeeping, trust me. So let's get into it. Time is your greatest asset. The first lesson you should learn from my experience is that time is your greatest asset. Time is a valuable asset that is irreplaceable, and how we choose to spend it significantly impacts our lives and the opportunities that comes to us. Growing up, I saw how my parents, they were able to take care of everything they needed to take care of. They took us to school, were able to live a comfortable life, weren't very rich, but we're a comfortable family. But now they are both retired. I look at how they are able to live life now, or how they are currently living life now, and I feel like if they had taken the time to aggressively invest like I'm currently doing in my 30s, maybe it would have been completely different. Because unlike now where I'm at this point in my life, I'm currently doing everything I can to earn money, or to save as much money as I can, or to invest as much aggressively as I can, because I'm at the right stage of it. But now I find that my parents started this very late, when they were very close to retirement. So now, even when they are not struggling, I find that I can't say they are completely financially free, because we are still having to, should I say, take care of them to an extent. If they are started early on, I feel like it would have made a whole lot of difference compared to where they are currently. Because at different stages of your life, there's the level to which you can invest and save and do all the necessary things that are said to help you to build wealth. So the way you are able to save in your 20s and your 30s is completely different from the way you'll be able to save in your 40s and your 50s. Because now, looking at how they are able to just manage life on the level at which they are now, if I were to be at this point where they are, this is not to say that you can predict what life can bring, but I feel like I would get a better future compared to what they are currently having now. Because now they are having to depend on the money they are getting from their retirement accounts, which the organizations they worked in at the time set up for them, and they are now having to run extra businesses at the side. But if they had maybe aggressively invested in their 20s and their 30s, it might have been different. And to be honest with you, I can't completely say that I blame them, because they had children to take care of, they had other family members to take care of and all that. But at the point you are now, in your 20s or in your early 30s, you've not had any of these responsibilities. You have to take advantage of the time that you have currently and do all you need to do. Create a retirement account if you don't already have one, especially if you don't have one with your organization you are currently working with. Even when you have one, it is still advisable that you put extra money into this account, so that when you retire, instead of when others are receiving a certain amount, you are receiving extra because you had made the effort to add to your retirement account early on. There's a quote by Jim Rohn, who is a pioneer in personal development, that says, "Time is our most valuable asset, yet we tend to waste it, kill it, and spend it rather than investing it wisely." This was by Jim Rohn. So you can imagine the influence that the time has in our lives, especially if you are still young. Take advantage of the time you have now, instead of waiting till when you have a family and you're not having to use the money you should have used for investing to take care of the family that you currently have. Invest time wisely in things like learning, self-care, and relationships can lead to personal growth and fulfillment over time. Your 20s and your 30s are not the time for you to be keeping so much money sitting down in the bank, because the bank can only give you so much interest. So you are better off investing this money in something that is going to give you long-term effects. Yes, I know popular opinion says that we should save. I've talked about this severally on this channel. Like, you keeping your money in the bank is only going to be helping the bank to have enough money to loan to people who are using the money for business. Being in the banking sector, I see that those who keep their money in current accounts, when you have no business in that place, instead of putting your money even in the savings account, at least where there's a little bit of interest, but then you keep wondering like, why is your money not making you money even when it is in the bank? The bank is just for to transfer money where there's excess to where there's less money. So you have put your deposit in the bank. Now the bank is going to take this money from a place where there is so much money to a place where the money is needed. So that is businesses to come and take this money as loan. So instead of you keeping your money in the bank, when you are in your 20s and your 30s, you are better off investing it. I just gave you an example of my parents and how now they are retired and there's a limit to which they can spend because they are having to manage whatever they are getting from their retirement account and what they are doing in their businesses. But if they had maybe at their early stage used the money, so much money, or invested aggressively, maybe compared to what is available to us now, that was different then, so we can't really completely judge. But I'm just saying that in your 20s and your 30s, this is the time that you can aggressively invest instead of just keeping your money for the bank to be using to do their core functions. Use a portion of whatever you are earning now to develop skill sets that will earn you more money. Right now I'm on YouTube, right? If I were to be called upon, let's say 2 to 3 years ago, before I started this channel, to come and talk to somebody, I'm talking to a camera now, nobody's here. I believe the way I will run, because I cannot speak in the public to save my life. But now I've learned over time how to speak to the camera. If you call me to public spaces to come and speak, it will be way easier for me. Learn skills that will help you to earn more money. Don't just keep your money in the bank. Invest it into assets that will give you long-term effects. Invest it into yourself and use that money to grow your skills so that you can have the ability to earn more money. I saw an article when I was doing extra research for this video, and one statement in that research stood out to me. I'll put a link of it in the description so you can go and read it for yourself. And one Mr. Choi wrote that savings in your early 20s or 30s should be very low to negative, while in your mid late 30s for early 40s, maybe early 50s, should be very high, while in your retirement time it should be very low. So it's like a curve that goes goes up and goes down and then goes wherever it is going. But you just have to have it at the back of your mind that we are told to save, but there are different stages at which you can save, or the level to which you can save. So recently someone sent me a DM on TikTok asking me like, I'm so I do so, like, what can I do with the current salary I have? I want to learn how to invest and this. I have a family and all. The advice I would give somebody that is in their early 20s is completely different from the advice I would give somebody like that who is a family man. He has to take care of his family. He's in his later 40s. So you can't be telling somebody that is in their 40s to invest all their money into stocks. There's a level to which they can invest that money, because they are now at the phase where before they will need money to take care of their family while preparing for their retirement. So there's a level to which you can invest. But somebody in their 20s, if that person comes to meet me, I have all these things but I want to start investing, the advice I will give you, it will be completely different, because now you can invest aggressively into stocks, so it is easier for you. So know that the level of savings and investing you can do in your 20s is completely different from your 30s, your 40s and your 50s. But it is very important. We just talked about time being an asset. It is very important to take advantage of the assets you have early on in your life. And to be honest with you, the level of income you can get in your 20s, your 30s, 40s and 50s is completely different as well. So you might want to just categorize yourself properly if you want to have a financially free future. Investing and risk. So many people DM me now on TikTok, because I've been able to grow my following on TikTok to 2,000, or at least close to 2,000. Yay! So we're a growing family on there, because I share my financial journey and everything I'm learning along my journey. But people DM me on TikTok, telling me I invested in this stock and I noticed that it has lost 16%. I did this, I noticed that. I'm telling you, this is not one, this is not two, this is not three persons. Like, they keep complaining that their stocks are going down, and I keep having to repeat myself that stocks is a long-term investment. Don't be saying that you are investing in stock and the next day you are going to know the percentage of how much it has lost. Like, you are wasting so much of your time. So rather than investing in a place where you know that you don't have the risk tolerance for, you are better off focusing on, high yield savings accounts, because there you know that at least at the end of every particular time they give you your interest complete. But stocks is something that you can lose today, you can even gain more tomorrow. So focus on where you are comfortable investing, know your risk tolerance, and channel your energy there so that you don't end up having to give yourself high blood pressure every day looking at, my stocks is going down. Like, how do you even know the percentage at which your stocks is going down? Like, what are you doing in that app in the first place? It is better for you to focus on things that you have control over rather than the ones you don't have control. The only thing you can do for yourself is to diversify your investments, spread your investment asset across different asset classes, like, stocks, bonds, real estate, just so that you can minimize your investment risk. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, so that when one egg breaks in one basket, at least you have saved another one in another basket. So just diversify your investments and leave your stocks account alone, because over time you are definitely going to reap the benefit of investing. But if you constantly look at it, you will only be stressing yourself out. The classic method many of us use to grow wealth or start our journey to building a career or having financial freedom is by working 9 to 5. And this is a very conventional method that everybody or most people tend to think of when it comes to building wealth. But this is still you exchanging your time for money. Even though I work 9 to 5 now, I've over time created multiple streams of income that I can say I'm looking for even more passive streams of income, because if you are focusing on only your one source of income, you are definitely going to have a slower journey to financial freedom. You are only going to be exchanging your time for money. Instead of doing that, why don't you leverage the time you have now? Let's say for my workplace, I have this pocket of time here and there. Instead of me to just be lounging around, maybe gisting with everybody, of which this still does not take away from the fact that you have to relate with your colleagues and all that, I try my best to use that pocket of time to do anything that will help me to grow this my channel. If you know how aggressively I've been researching concerning this channel, you'll be so surprised that you're already earning money from your 9 to 5, you have so much investment. I just talked about the 7 sources of income that I currently have, but then I'm still working so hard on this channel because I know that this can serve as a passive source of income. Like, I want to grow it aggressively, that when it starts bearing fruit, anybody that sees me working hard at this point I am currently now will say, oh, okay, you really deserve this thing. Even though I don't get that validation, but I have extra money coming in. That is very important for me because I want to create as many passive streams of income as possible. And you too, you need it. Leverage your environment. I work in the finance sector, so I get information here and there. I leverage this information and come and share with you guys what is allowed to be shared. Leverage the interest you have, like what is your financial goal. Now I talk about what I'm doing on my journey to $1 million, right? All these are ways that I can create streams of income, but by just leveraging what I currently have. So look at what is your interest, how can you use it to earn any extra stream of income, because you can't focus on only one stream of income if you want to build wealth, especially long-term wealth. And with our current working environment, like the way the world is going, anybody can be laid off any day. AI now is the new guy in town. Like, so we have to create passive streams of income, and I need more, to be honest with you, even when I already have 7, with this one being the 8 in the works. So you can leverage whatever you have in your life currently and use it to start creating many streams of income. Don't just focus on one, because I've learned a whole lot that it is not going to save you in any way, shape or form. Saving money will not make you rich, but earning more money and learning how to multiply it, that is what is going to make you rich. I've learned this along my journey, so you might want to listen to me, especially when it comes to this one. You need the right mindset and financial literacy if you are to build wealth over time. 80% of your mindset determines whether you are going to be rich. 20% is for the strategies. If you don't have the right mindset towards building money, there's really nothing that can be done for you, because you can keep having the strategies, creating all the strategies here and there, but if you don't believe that you are going to make money, nobody is coming to save you. Continuously learning how to invest, like keep learning what you need to do at every point in time to earn more money. Like I said, I've learned that over time, like you need to earn more money to become rich. Don't just say you are focusing on one stream of income, that is what's going to make you rich. You need to learn how to earn more money That is how most rich people, become the billionaires or millionaires you know them to be. They just know how to earn more money and multiply that money they've earned. Instead of having lifestyle inflation every time your income increases, learn to direct excess money into your savings and investment portfolios. Don't be using all the money that you get every time your salary is increased, your lifestyle increases alongside it. Instead of you focusing on increasing your savings and investment, you are focusing on increasing your lifestyle because you're trying to keep up. Everybody's a big girl now, you want to be a baddie. A baddie that nobody cares for is no baddie, because you need to secure your future financially. But I'm all about work-life balance, so having a balance between preparing for my future while living in the present. But just having that balance there can really help you or take you a long way in your financial journey. But again, a public speaker of over 20 years of experience wrote the book Your Network is Your Net Worth. And she once said that she believed that one's ability to build a network of authentic personal and professional relationship is the most important asset in your life. Because most times we tend to talk about the influence of investing, savings in our lives, but we don't really focus on the influence that the people will have in our life. Because if you don't have the community of like-minded people who are, maybe they want to grow alongside you, or they will have the same type of financial goal like you, it will be very hard for you. Like, create or curate your environment in such a way that it has people who you can go to. You will be discussing important things together, not just important things, similar things. You share ideas, you get advice here, put it together with your own personal decision, and you find that it will take you a long way. Instead of, if you have mediocre people around you, you are going to only be making mediocre decisions, only mediocre advice will come your way. Just imagine, like, and you have a financial goal. Investing in relationships and the right network is a critical wealth building asset that everyone should consciously adapt, because humans are a most valuable asset. Like, because you have this right connection or you have this community around you, you can have access to opportunities that the person who does not have these things. It is also good that you have somebody who can advise you when it comes to, like, your money, or maybe you feel like you've been trying your best to save and invest but it feels like it's not enough. You should have mentors that can guide you to making a better decision, because this person must have had the experience, they've gone through life, or they are even older than you, so they know what you don't know. Like how they always say, what an elder will see sitting down is different from whether you climb the Roku tree, you will not see it. So mentorship is important if you have the right person around you, but if you are in the right community, it will be very easy for you to have the right mentors that will guide you through your journey. Even though you don't have these people physically, you can learn from watching these YouTube videos where people are sharing with you real life experiences of things they've learned. I share that with you every day, so it can still be a form of mentorship. You don't necessarily only have to have that physical person who is a mentor to you. Just get the advice, see how if it works for you, apply it in your life, and you find that your financial journey will be very easy. Your network is very important, the community you build is very important. Have like-minded people around you, people that will share your goals and dreams, and you people can dream together and grow together. I have been doing that and it has really been helping me, because it's very tiring trying to convince people that you can become a millionaire in dollars before you turn 40. But if you have people around you who believe in this your goal, it will be an easier journey for you. In our journey to becoming financially free, most times we tend to stumble into some common financial mistakes that we need to talk about, because this is very important. You can't do all that we've just said now, and you keep repeating these mistakes I'm about to share with you now, and feel like you are going to have a financially smooth journey. Those two things, they don't go hand in hand. So the first one is, you are prioritizing your wants over your needs. You want to become wealthy every time you want to fulfill yourself. While I'm an advocate for having a work-life balance, not just work-life balance, a balance between your future and your present, I still try my best every single time to ask myself question: do I really want this thing I want to buy, or do I need it? If I'm not very sure, that is where I now apply the 24 hours rule. I wait 24 hours, even sometimes 48, 72 hours. I'm waiting just to convince myself. If I don't spend that money on something else that I find very important, then that other thing was never as important as I thought it was. You have to know this. I wanted to buy a table one time, but I felt like it was very important for me, because it was all these rollable tables that you can adjust, so many features that I felt like it was very useful. But then over time, I kept trying to convince myself why I needed this table. I was never really successful, because till today I've still not bought that table. So I found out that, okay, this thing I just wanted it because I felt like I can roll it around. It will be easier for me to adjust this. But then when I look at it part by part, I will basically still be doing manual labor while trying to adjust, do this, do that. So I ended up having to identify that this is a want, not a need. Another thing is not tracking your expenses, especially when we live in a world now where inflation is even like an unborn child. Like every time it keeps growing. Like inflation does not want to slow down, so we have to learn how to manage it. You need to learn to track whatever you're spending your money on, so that you can direct this money into more important things, rather than things that you did not really think about it, but you just bought it, and now you are having to need money for something more important than what you had just bought. I hope you are not part of those that are always borrowing money. Any money that you even borrow, sef, it has high interest. That's the funny thing. Like, avoid borrowing money that has high interest, because paying back, it will be influenced by inflation. The more inflation goes up, the more interest rate goes up, the more your debt keeps going up. So I'm telling you now that any loan or any debt that is of high interest, you might want to focus on clearing it first if you have already created one for yourself. If you have not, you better run, because that is a very common financial mistake that most times we tend to do, maybe because of the situations we have going on, or maybe we feel like we need to keep up with our friends and all that, and then we stumble face first into these issues. But these are things that you want to stay away from if you want to build wealth, especially long-term wealth. And another one is get rich quick schemes. These things, I don't know how many times I'll say it, they don't work. Like, I've learned that they don't work, and thank God I don't have to learn from my personal experience, because many people have experienced so many things that have made it known that get rich quick scheme, you can only gain 1 or 2 times. The third time, it will not work. So leave those things alone if you want to build wealth, because it is very important. Another thing is, if I may add this, learning to budget your every income. This is very important if you want to be able to manage your money very well. Budgeting will help you to guide your money to work for you. If you don't budget, your money will be the one making the decisions for you. So I hope this has really given you an idea of what you should have at the back of your mind if you are to have a successful journey building wealth. So now that I've shared these ideas with you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What do you think about these things? Did you know about them before, or have you just heard of some of them in this video? Because the only way to building long-term wealth is learning how to invest, having financial literacy, learning wealth building strategies, and applying them every day as time goes on. So I just thought to share this with you guys, because I felt like if I had had this information early on, even though I had to learn from a personal experience, many people can learn from me sharing these videos, or me sharing my ideas or thoughts with you guys, so that it will definitely make your journey easier and smoother. So I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what you think, because I know that you must have a lot to talk about when it comes to we trying to build wealth. It's not an easy journey, but it is one that is very achievable. So if you found value from watching this video, you might want to click that like button, subscribe to the channel, join this budding family, and you might want to check out my other videos where I share other tips concerning wealth building and everything I'm learning on my journey. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.